This is a special episode of CRM Audio, the Dynamics 365 podcast. This episode is brought to you by CRM.UG. CRM.UG is the user group for Dynamics 365 and CRM. CRM.UG is powered by users, for users, and specializes in the delivery of member-driven education, networking, and events to help you maximize your current Microsoft Dynamics investment. So, George, what is this Masterclass thing you're doing?
Yes. Well, good morning to you, Joel, too. I'm in Eastern Europe, so getting ready for my assault on Western Europe, as you do when you are in Eastern Europe. So you plan your assault. Now, what is going to happen is that we have this spring release. Let's call it spring because in some parts of the world it's not a spring, as you know. But
The season known as spring in North America.
Yeah, I hate this naming, spring and particularly fall, because fall is purely American thing. So I don't like these releases being called spring and fall in general because you're tying up to American seasons and, the world is a bit, it's a bit wider than America. It's bigger. So what we're trying to do this time is something different. So first of all, you'll hear about all the new things. You've heard all the announcements, all the pick your country name, hashtag country name train announcements. So different features, amalgamation of the CDS and XRM platforms and, moving forward with Power Apps and Flow and Citizen Developer Platform, what's generally called a business application platform. So you already heard some of the announcements and in general and at Extreme. Now there will be more announcements and more developments come CRM.UG EMEA, which is in Dublin, starts in 2 days on Tuesday. So as a developer, it's hard to get your head around all these new things. So if you're looking for official training, the way training is developed, it's not coming up until autumn or later this year, after the summer, effectively. Because summer, there's not much things happening. So what we're trying to do is to give developers a bit of a push and put together some materials that cover all the new topics. So this is the first opportunity to get your hands on and, try to get upskilled in all the new topics. Some of the topics not so new. They've been around for a few months. Some of them are definitely new and related to all the latest announcements and all the latest developments in Power Apps and things like that. One of the things that we're trying, before we dive into individual topics, one of the things that we're trying to do is to change the format, because usually the format is, you go through the topics and you do some hands-on labs, and you do some exercises. You walk away with some knowledge, but
and then you forget everything.
Well, if you're trying to pass the exam, that's how you pass the exam. Yeah, you learn, you pass, and then you forget. So what we're trying to do is something different, because you can do the prescribed exercises, but it teaches you how to follow the instructions. And in real life, you don't follow the instructions. You face the challenges of everyday development, and it's not always what's been prescribed to you. So what we're trying to do this year is what I call Business Application Development Challenge, or BAD Challenge.
So it's the bad class.
It's a bad class and it's a bad challenge. Yeah. So what we're trying to do, there will be a couple challenges that we put forward to the developers at the very beginning. So they're real challenges, and that sound very simple. So you can solve it in probably, if you're advanced developer, you probably can do it like in 15, 30 minutes. It's not a big deal. We're not trying to, challenge you the way, we're not trying to challenge if it's possible or not. It is possible. What we're putting forward is it's possible and it's easy to do. The question is if it's the best way to do things, right? So we're putting forward the challenge, and we give developers some time to get their heads around the challenge, and we're asking, how would you approach this challenge? How would you solve it? And if you've been around CRM for a while on Dynamics 365, but not even for a while, just for a little bit, you will have a solution. So our challenge is basically to ask you, is this the best solution that you can do? And by the day 2 of the training, we would like to see your view of this challenge changing, and things that you do and how you do things in your development changing based on the new approaches, new tools, new API that you learn throughout these 2 days. How would you approach this challenge by the end of day 2? And then we talk together, we discuss it, and we come up with probably the best challenge considering all the other ingredients, the best solution for this problem. Of course, throughout these 2 days, it's not as easy as it sounds, so the challenge may be easy to start with, but then I'll have a few stakes that I'm gonna put into the wheels throughout the 2 days and give you some additional conditions, or just make it a bit more difficult, or a bit more challenging. But that's the idea.
This is not for the new developer. This is for somebody who has some experience, maybe isn't totally up to date on the latest and greatest, and kind of a go to the next level kind of class.
Yeah, correct. So if you're a new developer, you probably learn, but you'll learn a lot, but you will feel the gaps. You'll feel it, because we're going to skip some of the topics. I'm not going to talk about how to use, SOAP to communicate with Dynamics 365. We're going to talk only about Web API, for example. Right, we're not gonna drill down on iOrganization service or how to create a plugin. By this time, I would assume that you do know how to do the plugin, or you do know the basics. So definitely, it's the class for the developers to top up their knowledge, to bring it up to date, to get their hands on some of the newer stuff before anyone else. So that's the idea. We teach hot topics. For us, the challenge is that these topics are hot, so not everything is settled down, not everything is cooled down. So I expect that I'll be making some mistakes, and I suspect that some of the developers will know more than I do about any of these topics. So that's it's more of I would say the guided information exchange than your traditional class.
Right. So who is doing the class along with you?
Okay. So it's difficult to get people together in multiple places because it's around Europe. So you can go to tip of the day, and the tip number is 1106. What else? So it's crmtipoftheday.com/1106, and it has a schedule. So we're going to Stockholm, we're going to Madrid, Milan, Amsterdam, and London. When you're doing a trip like that, and there are a couple days in each city, so it's hard to get the commitment from someone else to come in and do the full-on sort of co-training. But I'm looking to bring in some of the well-known names in development. So hopefully David Yack himself will make an appearance on at least one of the courses in one of the cities. So truly hope he can make it. He's a busy man delivering training and doing other things and talking at the conferences and things like that. So in London, I hope to see Scott Durow himself. So he'll be talking about all the client-side development, TypeScript, and things like that. For example, one of the topics we're picking up is the TypeScript. So this is something that, as a developer, if you doing client-side development, you do need to know TypeScript. So you moving forward, there will be more and more. You will see more and more TypeScript. You can still stick to JavaScript, but definitely if you're looking to improve productivity and you're looking for something bigger and better, then TypeScript is the way to go. So I hope that Scott Durow will come along and give us a good session on TypeScript. And then in Stockholm, I'm looking for Jonas Rapp to make an appearance and talk about development cycle and ALM and solution management in Dynamics 365, particularly considering latest development, latest APIs. Managing your instances as part of the application development lifecycle. So it's going to be interesting. So these are the people who I hope will make an appearance and talk about their own experiences in the selected subjects. So so I'm looking to create a different kind of training where it's more about experience exchange, where you get developers who've been around for a while, for a little bit. But get developers together and create a session where there is ideas exchange, experience exchange, and conversations on different topics on Microsoft Directions and what's coming up next. So that's the gist of it, I suppose. And if you thinking of joining, we still have some early birds running until the 1st of May. Then come in, register, and join us at this masterclass.
Okay, so you got, just looking at the list of locations, you've got Stockholm, Madrid, Milan, Amsterdam, and London.
Yes.
So
these are the cities.
Is there? Did you pick these because you wanted to do a European tour, and those were the cities you wanted to see?
No, actually, been to except Milan. I've been to all these cities. No, it's done in collaboration with some local MVPs. So
who's the Milan MVP or who's the Madrid MVP?
Madrid is Damian Rashkovan. Is doing local tour, assisting in organizing. The challenge of doing multiple cities is basically organization side of things. You need to get a place, you need to book things, you need to organize things, you need to feed people. You need to organize morning tea and things like that. So I'm securing the services. Gustav is doing Stockholm, organizing things in Stockholm. Damian is doing Madrid. Then Guido is helping in Milan, and Giorgio is helping in Milan too. In Amsterdam, it's your rare chance to see in person one of the earliest MVPs, Ronald Lemon. So he's no longer MVP. I hope that he will make it back, but he was one of the first MVPs ever in Dynamics.
Also one of the tallest.
He's probably the tallest.
Well, he's not an MVP anymore. Well, if you're picking them based on food, I would probably pick Madrid over London because Madrid has better food.
And in London, I have Mohammed Mustafa, who's our go-to guy in GDPR, which is a hot topic. I hope to have some discussions about that in Europe. What does it mean?
And that will be a week after GDPR kicks in.
Correct, yes. So it's going to be a hot topic to discuss and what we as developers can do about it. So in London, Mustafa is going to help me out to organize things and to keep developers under control. So yes, nice. It's in every location I have local MVP or ex-MVP who's helping out. So it definitely names known around the community. So looking forward to see lots of new faces and get some good discussions going.
Sounds good. So go to CRM Tip of the Day. It goes CRM Tip of the Day /1106.
Yep, and it's got the full schedule, and then each link will take you to the registration site for this particular event, and we have early bird running until 1st of May, which is International Labor Day, I believe.
Okay, great. Thanks, George.
Okay, thank you.
This has been CRM Audio, the Dynamics 365 podcast. Send us your feedback at voice@crm.audio. Check out our other shows at CRM.audio or subscribe on iTunes, Google Play, Spotify, Stitcher, TuneIn, and any place else podcasts are offered. This podcast is a production of Dynamics Podcast, LLC.